If you're new to this channel, first and foremost, welcome. Second of all, let me keep you up to speed in regards to my thoughts of the house of Parfums de Marly. It was no secret in our YouTube fragrance community that this guy right here was not a fan of the brand of Parfums de Marly. I felt like it was an expensive clone house. Now, was I entirely right? Not really. I still feel that they like to pluck very interesting or top selling ideas from other brands and kind of make it their own. So I haven't changed my idea on that. This fragrance right here that I'm going to be reviewing today, Oajan, turned me around a little bit on the brand. Now it's my turn to tell you guys what I think of my very first purchase of the house of Parfums de Marly and my very first full-fledged review on this fragrance house, Oajan. Let's get into it. What's going on, YouTube fragrance family? Welcome to another Robes 08 fragrance review. Today I'm going to put my nose on the house of Parfums de Marly and their apple pie gourmandish fragrance called Oajan. Before I get into anything, I want to thank my partner, FragranceX.com, where I got Oajan. You can get that fragrance too on FragranceX. You can utilize my code ROBES08 and get 15% off. They carry most of the Parfums de Marly brand. Now let's take a look at the stats of Oajan. Now it hit the shelves back in 2013. Bottle size is the 4.2 ounce. Concentration is eau de parfum. It is part of the Arabian Breed collection. Beautiful bottles. I love the black and gold. Really great presentation. Group, this is an Oriental fragrance. Pricing. Oh, she's pricey. You ready? You ready? $320 for a bottle of this stuff. Again, discounters do have it for cheaper. You can, of course, check out my partner FragranceX for that. The nose behind this one was Shyamala Maison Dieu. Now let's take a look at the note breakdown. In the opening, we have cinnamon, osmanthus, and honey. And two of the big notes in this fragrance, honey and cinnamon, are in the introduction. Now more into the mid, we have benzoin, labdanum, ambergris, and davana. Davana is going to be a big note in this fragrance too. Now in the base we have patchouli, musk, vanilla, and tonka bean. So there's some gourmandish qualities already in this fragrance, just looking at the note breakdown. Major notes to this nose right here would have to be the cinnamon, the honey, and the tonka bean. Now let's take a look at my application for Oajan. Fair warning, my application, I go a little heavier than most people. 3 sprays is good enough for this type of fragrance. I go 5, sometimes even more, depending on these Canadian winters and falls. But my usual is 1 on the chest, 2 on the neck, 1 on each side here. And then I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, but I can put in my inner elbows here, and that would be my application. And of course, another spray at the back of my hand to remind me of the introduction so I can sniff it out. So now again, my application's a little heavier than most. So again, 3 sprays, perfecto. So let's get into this introduction now that it dried down a little bit on my skin. And that introduction is sold, sold, beautiful. Immediately sniffing Oajan, it brings me to Ambre Narguilé, and this is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. From Hermès Essence, a pricey little devil, Jean-Claude Elena, absolute masterpiece, and I don't throw that around too much. This is a cleaner version of this. This seems a little more, and I'm going to get into that. It has a little more playfulness. This is more Elena style, a little more cleaned up, a little more high-end, and that's my personal opinion. Don't shoot, some people love this stuff, but this is, again, this is all me. I didn't split this or anything, and that's quite a feat for me. One of my top compliment getters, maybe top compliment getter in my whole collection is Ambre Narguilé. So a fragrance that brings me to that is always going to get some good points here. So yeah, beautiful opening. This is a double-edged sword for me, and for many of us, as it shows PDM is not being unique as usual. But at the same time, if you had to copy a scent, this is probably the scent that you want to copy. The opening is simply outstanding. It gives you that smooth apple pie opening that I come to love with Ambre Narguilé. The fruit is there. The warmness and the spice of the cinnamon is killer. It's full in here, and it's going to be a primary note in Oajan. I think the cinnamon in here is one of the best in the game. The cinnamon is king. I give it to PDM right now in this fragrance review. They killed it with the cinnamon in this one. It's full, it's balanced, and it will continue to push throughout the scent. This thing does not give up as far as the cinnamon goes. It goes right till the end. So you must like cinnamon as a note to enjoy this one, because it is full and it's center stage, and it's going to stay throughout the whole fragrance. And that's one thing with Oajan, linear, because the cinnamon is your primary note throughout the whole time of the fragrance. This is paired with honey. Honey, beautiful. It's dripping with honey in the opening. It is your second in command for a short while until the sweetness is replaced with, of course, tonka, benzoin, vanilla in this fragrance, more into the dry down of the scent. There's also a mild, powdery vibe running through the veins of Oajan, which reminds me of the same powdery vibe I received in Back to Black by Killian. Now, this is a powdery bomb. Bomb. Beautiful scent. Again, classic scent. Again, I'm throwing out some really great scents in our fragrance world. This is powdery as can be. You must like powder to like Back to Black. But Oajan throws off a little bit of a powdery vibe in its fragrance, and I really enjoyed that. I was like, whoa, that's a little unique to the whole vibe of the fragrance. That could be, of course, the tonka bean throwing that out a little bit. Now, Oajan shows you from the start that it's not messing around in the gourmand territory, as it's thick. It's a full scent, full-bodied. It's very warming, and at the same time, it has some playfulness to it. Backing the scent, you will start smelling more resinous tones to Oajan, and it will show itself more into the dry down. Now, the true X factor in this fragrance, yes, cinnamon and honey are huge, so is the tonka, but the X factor in Oajan is the Davana note, which you don't stumble upon too much in fragrances. And it has a rich, strongly boozy, almost like a plum dried fruit type of accord. It has some sweetness to the note. It's herbaceous, it's warm, it's balsamic, and it also has woody undertones. The scent profile is very unique with Davana. As a scent profile, it does have a slight touch of smokiness, the blonde tobacco. And now this is where people go a little off the rails a little bit and say, oh, it smells like tobacco vanille because it's got vanilla and it's got a little bit of a tobacco vibe. That's where you're getting it from that note right there. Now, the other thing in this fragrance is this is paired with tonka bean. Now, the tonka bean in Oajan is high quality. Not too many tonka bean based fragrances do what the tonka bean does in this fragrance, and that means throwing out its cherry vibe. It doesn't have much almond-like vibe in this fragrance, but the cherry vibe is there. And some people compare this to pure Havana in some cases, and you'd be kind of correct because of the Davana note that gives that tobacco, and then of course that cherry vibe from the tonka bean. Bing, bango, everything's coming together. Very strong secondary note as the tonka bean, of course. Now, speaking about fruity notes, there's many I get in Oajan. Even if it's truly showing not really a fruity note per se, you know, it comes off as apple pie-ish, but the fruit in there is not really apple. There's many different fruity aspects to the fragrance. It's mostly about the cinnamon that makes you think about an apple pie. The fruit keeps creeping up from the cherry from the tonka bean to the plum-like qualities from the Davana, and even the osmanthus giving out a familiar apricot-like vibe to the fragrance. The dry down of Oajan speaks many of the levels that I've just already mentioned to you here. It really is fairly linear as a scent. The cinnamon continues to be your central theme here. The tonka bean takes a larger role. It's going to start giving out its powdery aspects, its cherry-like aspects. The tonka bean in Oajan is seriously underrated as a note. Not too many people talk about it as a major factor. It's very full and well balanced as a note. The dry down of Oajan gets more vanillic because of, well, the vanilla, the tonka, the benzoin. They all have a vanillic ambery tone to them, or tendencies, and it shows in Oajan's dry down. You receive some of the darker tones in the dry down from the benzoin and the labdanum with a musky backbone to Oajan. Overall, Oajan, in a nutshell, is a well-balanced, well-constructed, and excellent fragrance. If you purchase this, I wouldn't be hating on you at all. The one knock on Oajan is it's not unique. There's many themes like this. Again, every fragrance has its own general theme, but it's all the small nuances that makes it different. And this theme has been done before. And your price point is depending on your wallet and your nose. It all depends on what you think. If you just want an apple pie-like fragrance, there is some under $100 that you can find easy. Now, if you're looking into the intricacies of fragrances, that's where your Homme Narguilés come into play, your Oajans. They're gonna make a small difference or maybe a large difference to your nose, depending on you. I still personally prefer Homme Narguilé, even testing out this fragrance. I think it's a cleaner, much better constructed scent. And for the record, they do have some differences, quite a bit. Don't expect an exact clone of Homme Narguilé here. Oajan, in a nutshell, is a very linear scent that has some complexities to it once you look under the hood. So really interesting scent, a very solid release from the house of Parfums de Marly, and my very first review, I'm very pleased with the scent that I got here. Recommended age, 20 plus. It does have some playfulness and it does have some seriousness to the fragrance. I really think that anybody can really wear this. Fragrances that it's compared to, of course, Homme Narguilé, Dolce, Sire, and Farah. These are fragrances that it's compared to, the apple pie type of fragrances. Best time to wear this fragrance, cooler months, cooler nights, to be specific, casually mostly, but also on a night out, right? Going to the bar, going to hang out with the boys, or going on a date. Seasons, this one is a fall. Winter too. It does have some depth to it to, of course, work in the winter. Spring nights, and now you're starting to look for times to wear this fragrance. Nighttime wear almost all seasons, depending on how cool it is out there. You know, overcast, snowy days, but fall in a nutshell, this works so well during the fall seasons. Development, linear, average, or complex. Average towards almost linear. Work appropriate? I don't see it. Signature scent worthy? No. The only reason why I say no is because these are the type of fragrances, for me personally, that have a gourmandish edge to them. I like to wear them from time to time. I'm not going to wear them every single day. You're not going to eat apple pie every day, are you? Some of you out there may. Now it's time to rate this one. Let's take a look at projection and longevity. Two very good scores here, 8s across the board. Projection is above average. It does project fairly well. Longevity, 8 again, 7 to 9 hours, any given wearing. Compliment factor, 8 bottles out of 10, very solid in the compliment game. Same thing as Homme Narguilé, they both do very, very well as far as compliments go. They do get people's attention. I don't know what it is with this apple pie stuff, but it works like crazy over here, especially during the fall and winter seasons. Uniqueness, 5 bottles out of 10. PDM won't get any props for being unique here. No. Pricing versus what you get, 7 bottles out of 10. This is tricky as you can get this theme for cheaper. It all depends on what you think about certain nuances in the fragrance. Versatility, 7 bottles out of 10. Once it gets cooler, it's go time for this one. So it's a higher versatility, but not so much as a signature scent. So 7. And that goes to smell. 9 bottles out of 10. The best score out of this whole rating system. There's a reason why the smell, the scent itself smells great. It's blended almost to perfection. It really works very, very well. So a 9 overall, and that goes to an overall score. Parfums de Marly's Oajan gets an 8 out of 10 out of me. A very solid release, a very strong 8. Like, this is a high 8, almost a 9 here for me. And that goes to buy, try, or pass. This is a buy. I really think I'm really impressed with this fragrance. The construction and everything really works well together. So a definite buy from yours truly. And thank you for watching my review on Oajan by the House of Parfums de Marly. Please comment below if you have smelt this fragrance, good or bad. I'd love to hear your take. And remember, a great or poor fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching.